Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us this Monday evening. Yesterday was Easter. I hope everybody had a fantastic holiday. So we decided to move it to Monday evening for our second week of our PURGE call. Please make sure you have your calendars open, a pen and pad handy, and your list of 10 ready to go and work along with us. We truly believe that this is a silver bullet in your business, that you have to have structure and you need to know exactly what you're doing in your 30 to 45 minutes a day, every day for the week, and have structure in your business. And I'm not going to hold up the call any longer. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our host. If you're not familiar with this gentleman, Richard is an executive consultant in our business in Ambit. He is also a 5-star trip earner. He is a businessman in his own right. He owns several Dickey's barbecue restaurants. He owns a music box business. He is very, very creative. He's brought us the 3x4 and the PURGE call. And without further ado, I would like to introduce my dear friend and mentor, Mr. Richard Laidler. Richard, are you there?
All right, here we are on a Monday night. As Michelle said, it was obviously last night was Easter Sunday. Everybody was snacking down on their chocolate and having way too much fun to join in on the Sunday call. So we just moved it one night, but we do need to do it. We can't miss a night because we need to make sure that, first of all, we finish the cycle of action we were with last week's guest, because we've obviously got to purge her list, and we've got to make sure that you guys all purge your list with us. But then we also need to make sure that you guys are all geared up and ready to get yourself sorted out for this week as well. Make sure you've got your everything planned, and that's my job. That's my responsibility. I'm everybody's boss for the week because I want to make sure you have success, and we've got to treat our end of business like we treat our job, just for a little bit, just at the beginning, just while you get yourself sorted out, just while you get yourself your financial freedom. You just need someone just to gently shiver you along to make sure you do the simple things we need to do every day to build a successful Ambit business. That being just basically structure. Just put some structure in your business like you have at work and like you had at school, be it work on time, do what you need to do. What we do on our particular call is we are driven by the written list. We create a written list of everybody we know. And that doesn't have to be everybody we actually know. It could be the guy from the gas station. It could be the girl from who's the server at the local restaurant. It could be whomsoever. We put them on the list. We score them using the Erica system, which is basically making sure that we call the best people first. Everyone's going to get a call, but it just means that we call the best people first. And then on Sunday, Monday, as in this particular case, is we go to our top 10 names, and we create an invite for each one of those top 10 people. I think an 18-year-old needs to be invited to look at the business different than, a friend of your mother's. Someone who's maybe my age is looking towards retirement. Someone who is my son's age is looking to see how he's going to buy that Mustang. So the invite's just a little bit different. Once we do that, then we just allocate enough time in our calendars to do 2 invites a week and 1 accountability call a week. And then the following Sunday, we go through our week and we have a look at all the calls that we made. And be conscious. I mean, I know you've heard me say this spiel many, many times, but are you doing this? Be conscious of the people you spoke to this week and think, okay, do they need to be purged? Do they need to be verified? Do I need to get them on a 3-way call? Or they've signed up and we need to get them plugged into the system? Do be conscious of all of these things. We just do a persistent, consistent effort over time, which means about 30 minutes a day, 60 minutes a day, doing exactly what we're talking about, which is working with our written list, 2 calls a day, 1 accountability call a day, Monday through Friday. And that's it. You just keep doing that week after week, just like you do your job, week after week. Don't roll your eyes and sigh and think, oh, God, I've got to do that every week. Yeah, you do. Just like you do your job, just like when you go to the gym, just like you go to the church, just like you do in everything else in your life, just like you go to school, for 12, 10 years or whatever you did. You just repeated what you needed to do every week and you got the result that you wanted. The reason why people fail in Ambit or don't ever get to a situation where they're not making enough money is because they're not doing what they need to do. In some cases, it's not even that you don't know what to do, because what we do in our Ambit business is much simpler than everything else we do. It's just not doing it. And that's what this call is all about, is just to make sure that we give you the environment in which you can do what you need to do. So that being said, no doubt I know everybody on this call has been very good and done what they're supposed to do. And I know for certain our special guest or victim or whatever we want to call them has been working diligently. Last week we pulled the top 10 names from her list. And then during the week, she's been making the calls based on the invites that we put together, based on the 5 guidelines, which I'm sure will come up in the call, about how to make the perfect invite. The guidelines are relevant to anybody who's 18 or 80. She's been working diligently on on her job all week, and she's had a great week. And now we're at the second Sunday where we're going to purge her list, where the yeses we plug into the system, the maybes or the people we won't manage to get hold of just yet will be carried on over to the next week or validated with a 3-way call or a second look at a business presentation. And those people who said, no, not yet, we just purged them. And we purged them for 3 to 6 months, depending on the reason why we purged them. And that's it. And next week, she will do exactly the same thing with her regular accountability partner. She happens to have an incredibly good accountability partner and executive consultant, Darren McClure. He's a great friend of mine, EC, out of Fort Worth. So she's basically, I guess, is going to now work this coming week with him, doing exactly the same thing as we did last week, and the week before that, and the week before that. So without further ado, let me bring on my special guest, my victim, my brand new best friend, my Texan girl, senior consultant, Miss Cathy Coward. How are you, my lovely? Are you there?
I am doing fantastic. I've actually got a house full of some of my leading new consultants here, and we're kind of putting together a little bit of a meeting and how they'd like to have it go. We're actually building a new meeting on top of the other ones that we have here, not instead of, just in addition to, because we've got a couple of good leaders here, and so. Yeah, we're actually doing okay, and you tell me when you want me to talk and when you want me to listen.
I don't need to do that. You'll do a perfectly good job on your own with that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got pushed very far out of my comfort zone this week because I'm always very comfortable with just running into people, seeing something that somebody posts on Facebook, and there's a lead-in, there's a reason for me to call them, and my biggest struggle has been having the people on my list and not knowing how to contact them.
Right.
And it probably took me maybe 4 days in to get stood up, to get no calls back, to I really got it, what you've always said about this may be for you, this may not be for you. I don't really care if you come on the business, but I want to share it. It took me till about Thursday to really, I've always said it, but to really believe it. To really believe it and really understand it. And
that's actually it. It is. It's getting it visceral. It's getting it into your system that's what you need to do, because you can build a business reactively, like you would hear some pain or you were going about your day, and you can build a business that way, and that's fine. But that's who you are, and it's hard. It's. I'm not saying it's not duplicatable. It's just harder to duplicate. Whereas if you have a structure in place where you're making a couple of calls a day that are proactive, and whilst you're still doing your reactive calls, then at least you've got structure in place that the people in your team can copy, because they may not have that, outgoing personality that you do. And if you don't have that structure of 2 calls a day, you could go through a whole week and not have invited someone. And that's the big red flag. That's when people are going to start thinking about wanting to quit the business, because they're not getting any results, because they're not doing anything. And so that's great. I'm really, really pleased that now has become viscerally part of you, not because you necessarily needed it for your business for you, but you did need it in your business for your team. They need to see that they need to do a couple of calls a day, 1 accountability call a day. A couple of calls a day, 1 accountability call a day. And again, listen, it may or may not be your thing, and that's perfectly fine. It's probably the best phrase you can use in an invite. I had it actually tonight. I was meeting someone today, and I kind of broke a little bit of a rule. I was going to be doing a 2-stage presentation. You know, very often we talk about reconnecting with someone before we offer them the business.
Right.
And I hadn't seen this girl for 6 years, and we were getting together. I do everything I ask you guys to do. I was doing a 2-stage approach. We went out for dinner, an inexpensive dinner, again, because it needs to be duplicatable. We were just chatting about this, that, and the other, and she was like, you know, so tell me about your business, and I tell her about this, and I say about the energy business, and then move on. And she kept going back to the energy business, kept going back. And she said, listen, tell me about that. I really, you know, I've got my businesses. I'm not getting any younger. I need passive income. And I know you're doing that energy thing. You know, she didn't remember the name of it. And so I made the invite right there and then. And I said, well, look, you know, it may or may not be your cup of tea, but you should, if you're looking for passive income and you're chasing me like you are, then, you know, let's get together and show me what you're doing. And she said, yeah, great, let's make a date. And we did. We made the date, made the appointment, and I'm going to get together with her this weekend. And it just makes the whole thing, you could literally physically see her relax when you say it may or may not be your thing. I mean, it's so very, very important. It just makes that invite, for those people who are nervous about doing a proactive invite, it just makes things so much easier. Tien Bui just always says, you know, just use that. It may or may not be your thing. So for those of you on the call who may be finding it difficult to make that call, to make those proactive calls, that's your secret weapon. Be in a hurry and then do the usual process that we do during the calls, using your why, the hook, and then that nice big fat takeaway. Listen, it may or may not be your thing. And Cathy, my friendship with you is much more important than any business thing. But you need to take a look at what I'm doing. What are you doing for coffee on Friday about 5 o'clock? And so I'm really pleased that it's now viscerally become part of your business. That's great. So let's have a look at your week, Cathy, and let's kind of be systematic about this, because I know you've had a super busy week, and I know you like to go into lots of detail about each individual person, and that's cool, but we're going to run out of time. So here's what I'd like you to do, if you wouldn't mind, please. If you could just talk about the week you've had, the names and stuff, and just a general quick, I approached her because, you know, she's got kids in school and I've got kids in school, and I led with my why, and we got together, or we made an appointment for this date. Just kind of a brief overview without going into lots of detail so we can get through everything. And then we'll go through, and then just let me know if you're going to meet with her, you've purged her, or she's joined the business, or whatever it is, okay?
Well, I had a friend of mine. I'm not terribly sociable. I know it seems like I am, but I'm really not. And I don't really generally like leaving my house, so it's not really my thing. But I did my penance for the year, and I paid for all my sins and transgressions, and I went on a field trip with my child to the Fort Worth Museum. And there was some poor lady that got stuck in my car. And she was interested in the business. She's a substitute teacher, and she was interested in the business, and she's kind of playing with it. But I didn't really push that really far. We met on Thursday, and she really wants to do the business, but she had a deposit on changing hers, and she's looking at the money. So she's there. She's still there. I'm just going to hit the highlights. I put my 2 people in the business. I'm just going to hit the. You don't want me to go through everybody, do you?
Well, we can go through the people who are on your list, but we don't need to know the details as to why you're inviting them. Just how you invited them, whether it worked, whether it didn't work, any highlights, any things that went terribly wrong, or something that went terribly right, and just a kind of a little overview on each one.
Gary, my police officer friend, coached this kid, thought I did everything right. He was like totally, oh, yes, I'd love to hear about it. This is one of the ones I messed up a long time ago. Mm-hmm. One of the ones I messed oh, yeah, absolutely. I cooked a wonderful dinner, and they were going to come over. He's like, oh, I picked up another shift. And he has gone flat. I mean, there's nothing. I didn't tell him too much. I kind of stuck to everything. Mm-hmm. And I didn't tell him too much. He said, Gary, hey, just maybe something. And he told me he's about to get promoted to sergeant, and his wife is going to go back to school because he wants to retire. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. This would be wonderful. And he's, oh, yeah, this would be great. And now he's gone into ambit protection. I don't know. Witness protection. I don't know.
How many times have you called him?
We had about 4 contacts. Somewhere through the checks because he's been working overnight. He's like, oh, I just got your call. I get a text back at midnight or something. Yeah, I'll be there. And then I did get a call.
Are they texting or calling?
I had 2 calls, 2 texts.
Okay.
So I did get a text after I'd already cooked fantastic dinner. And y'all probably would like to have the recipe, so text me for that. It's wonderful. It's spinach, artichoke, stuffed chicken. That's a fantastic recipe, but that's beside the point. But I kind of don't know what to do with that because I've hit him before. It's one of those people I've already vomited and bit on.
Mm-hmm.
I did it all wrong the first time, so I'm taking a step back.
Well, we've got 3 things we could do. We can. He's obviously not joined the business, so that's one off the list. The other is we can keep trying, or we can, which is what we do on this call, is we can purge him from the list. Now, the purge may be a 2-month, 3-month, or 6-month, depending on the flavor of this. But when someone, so what I didn't understand was you had a nice dinner. Did you show him the business yet, or are you still looking to invite him?
No, sir. I have not seen the video. About a year ago, I seen the video, and it was just a video of another police officer that had done great, and it fell flat, and I did it totally wrong.
Right. So you did it wrong first time. You corrected it with a new invite this time, right? Where you talked about the changes in the business, what's changed for you, and he's interested to look again, right?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Right.
And his wife was in there, his kids were going to come over on Thursday, and I made dinner, and then I got a last-minute text, I picked up a shift, and so we'll send the family over.
Okay.
And,
well, here's what
I've got nothing since.
Okay, so here's what we need to do, is if you keep chasing him, you're going to feel bad about it. He's going to steal the power from you, but it's also potentially going to put a little tiny black mark on your friendship. Because he's either one of 2 things. He's either interested and he just has not been able to get back to you, or he's not interested and he doesn't know how to tell you.
Right.
And so what we want to do is we want to make it really easy for him to tell him he's not interested, because then you'll maintain the friendship, you'll maintain the relationship so that in 6 months you can get back to him again and update him about you're now in EC and we're now in Japan, we're now in the UK, and we've just moved into Australia, for example. But you won't be able to do that.
I can exceed the speed limit, and he won't give me a ticket, right?
There you go, exactly. So what we need to do is we need to give him the way out. And it'll do 2 things. It'll either guilt him to go, oh, my gosh, I know I've been meaning to get back to Cathy. Yes, I am interested. I'm so sorry. My shift has been crazy and blah, 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 blah. And it'll guilt him into confessing that when you get together anyway. Or it will give him permission to say, you know what, the timing's not right now. So it'll just bring it to some closure, but also it'll give you the power because you're going to take it away from him. You're going to call him, and if he picks up, then just say, listen, I do want to follow up. I'm obviously, I consider myself a professional in the ambit business, and I just wanted to make sure that we kind of bring this to a close to see if it's something that you are actually interested in looking at or not. And I want to tell you right now that if it's not something, for you right now, that's perfectly fine. My friendship with you is much more important than me, constantly chasing you about a business. It's not that way. And that'll give him the permission to say, well, you know what, the time is not. You've opened the door for him to walk out of, or he'll say, you know what, I am interested. I've just been super busy. But that's what it's going to do. Now, more than likely, he's not going to pick up. He's probably going to get to a voicemail. So this is when you would do the 4th call of the process that we do. I'd give him a call and say, it's Jerry, right? His name's Jerry?
Yes, his name's Jerry. But what do you do when he plays games
Jerry.
with you he plays word games and
Facebook but let's hold on. Let's keep this. We've got to make sure that we keep this simple for everybody who's listening on the call. All of those other things that you're doing, that's fine. But we've got to make sure that everybody on the call knows what to do in a situation like this. And so you're calling him, he's not picking up, he's playing word games with you or whatever. Words
he's not answering calls. Yeah,
he's not answering calls. So you leave him a voicemail, say, hey, Gary, just want to follow up with you. This is Cathy. Obviously, we've got something that's out there that's not come to close yet. You mentioned that you'd like to take a look at the Ambit business, but I've reached out to you a few times just recently, and you haven't been able to give me a call back. So I'm assuming you have to go out of town or something's just going crazy at work. So this is the last time I'm going to call you about it. My friendship with you is much more important than any business. If it's appropriate, by all means, give me a call back and we can get back into communication about it. But if it's just the wrong timing for you right now, just drop me a quick text and let me know it's the wrong timing right now, and we'll just move on and we'll just carry on with our friendship as we were before. Thanks very much and see you. Bye. Click. Done. You've put the phone down. You've taken it away from him. But you've been very nice about it. You've left him the doorway to come back to you with, yes, I'm interested. But you've also given him the doorway to say, no, I'm not interested. I need to move away. But also know that you're being grown up and sensible about it enough that in 6 months when you call him, when the timing is better for him and you are an EC, for him to go, yeah, you know what, I should have done this 6 months ago, but yeah, let's talk about it again now. And that's the thing. It's just so crucial and this is why the purge call is called the purge call. We have to get this guy in or out. Nothing in between, because anything in between is wasting time. It's wasting his time, it's wasting your time, and nothing is moving forward. Let's get him back in interested, or let him go and reconnect in 3 to 6 months. So,
I should not send him a video. I should not send him a video, not do anything else. All right.
Nope.
I like this. I like this. I can absolutely live with that.
And you know why you like it? You like it because it's given you the power back. You're the one with the power. You've taken it back and said, hey, and you could be lovely. Listen, obviously the timing's not right for you right now. Try to reach out to you. You haven't been able to get back to me. I'm assuming things have gone crazy. You've gone out of town or whatever, so I'm not going to call you anymore about it. Give me a call if it's relevant to do so. But if not and the timing's wrong, just drop me a quick note and let me know that's perfectly fine. Boom. Click. Done. And you've moved on. He's off your list and onto your purge list. And now but you're still friends so that you can reconnect with him in 6 months. We've spent a little bit of time on this, but I know there's a lot of people out there that get into this really difficult situation. It's just kind of really weird and awkward. Initially they were interested, and then all of a sudden they just disappear and they're not taking your call. You think, what did I do? And so you have to take control.
Witness protection.
That's it. But let me tell you, if you don't take control and take it away from them like that, it's going to have stolen some power from you, and you're going to be a little less reluctant. You're going to be a little bit more reluctant to make the next call. And if he does the same, a little bit more reluctant, and eventually it's going to steal all your power away from you. But if you take it back every time someone does it to you, you'll always feel good about doing the next call again. So this is real important. So, for all of you who are listening, you're in control. They're not in control. Sure, we hope they're going to say yes, but we're not emotionally tied to if they say no. If they say no, it just means it's not yet, and that's fine. Great, that's great. I remember when we invited, I said it's not necessarily for everyone. It's not necessarily your cup of tea, and that's perfectly fine. Remember we said that? Yeah, great. So obviously the time is not right now. That's great. And you can take it back, and you've got the power to get on with the next call. Again, we've labored that point a little bit, but it's because it's important, because way too many people leave this business because they've had too many people keeping them on the line like this, because they have the power and not you. But let me tell you, everyone on this call, and I promise not to get on my soapbox, you have the power, you have the business, you have the opportunity. You're going to show them. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. If they do, awesome. But it's your business that you're offering them. They do not have the power. You have the power. Okay. All right, let's move on. So just real quick, Cathy, you're going to call him and leave him a voicemail to tell him exactly that, okay? Not that You're not going to say, I've got the power, you don't have the power. I'm not saying that. Just...
Oh, come on. You're making all the fun out of my day.
I know you want to. But, yeah, just make that call that we talked about a second ago, just the one where this can be the last call on it. My friendship's more important to you than anything else. And he'll call you back that he's interested, or he'll just say, you know what, the timing's not right, and it'll make it all really nice, and you can move on. Okay, let's get on to the next one.
All right, well, this was actually not on my original list. It just kind of came up. It just was looking on Facebook. It's one of the chicken list things.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, I think it was Thursday when I was just, I kind of gotten into the, just running into people. I don't care if they're involved or not, but reaching out to people I was. And I just kind of got my feelings hurt, and I called my friend. I was like, because normally I don't care, but this week I did, because I felt like, I'm almost being scored. I was like, I want to do good. And so I actually called a friend of my sister's and was like, look, I genuinely don't care if this is for you or not. But, I was looking at it, and this was not on my original list. It was just something that came up, and I said, hey, Cheryl, I know you're busy. I'm looking at all this, and it's like, I don't know if this is for you or not, but I know that you've got these new grandkids and all this, and I honestly approached it the way that you told me to, but I genuinely, I wasn't trying to change my words. I genuinely did not care if she got in the business or not. And this week, normally I go through my life and I'm like that. But when I try to intentionally contact people, I get a little antsy about it. Mm-hmm. A little bit of anxiety about it. But this time I was just like, I'd made a meal for some people that didn't show up. I was like, look, I don't care if you like this or not. I don't care. I just got to make this call. She's like, absolutely. And she's coming to that meeting tomorrow. I'm going to have, because I just didn't care. She wasn't even on my list. Didn't care. Of course, I don't know why in my brain I tried to reach out to preachers this week, but I had two of them on there. But no, I actually called her, and I had that in mind. I knew that she'd already done network marketing before, a lot of weight loss stuff. And I've been friends. I grew up in a neighborhood where there were 4 girls and about 700 boys. So she was one of the 4 girls. She was my sister's friend. So we've always been friendly, but not really close. And she was just surprisingly receptive.
And that's great. And that's really important. That we constantly talk about not being emotionally tied to the outcome of the call, and you got a genuine, visceral feeling of what that feels like. When you get to the point where you genuinely don't care, we hope they do, and I don't mean don't care as in I don't care. No, just whether they join or not, that's the point. Is if you can reach that on every call, the call is easy, your posture is better, and you'll do great. But so now I know that's not an easy thing, and I know you had to be a bit pissed off for you to have that feeling, but that's what you're aiming for on every call.
But that's what it took me to get me out of that. Because I genuinely I usually just look for a reason to have a conversation running into somebody. And this is where you pulled me out of my comfort zone, and it was not comfortable for me this week. I just totally shut down. I totally shut down for a couple of days. I was like, nope, not talking to anybody. This has been entirely too weird for me. But it pushed me out. No, it's what I need. I need a little kick every once in a while. So,
and this is actually, just on that, this is why having an accountability partner is really important as well, because we all go through situations where, you know what, and sorry, ladies, if I'm swearing too much, but I'm going to say it. Sometimes we just feel a little pissed off, and we just, whatever it is, and that's why an accountability partner is so good to have, because when you have a couple of days like that, there was one night where we didn't do the accountability call because you said, Richard, don't call me, I'm too pissed off. You didn't say quite like that.
I say that's too late last night, I'm mad.
Trust me, I know the signs, again, as a 52-year or 53-year-old man who's been married twice, I know when to leave a girl.
I know when to leave a woman alone. You do not want to mess with that. Yeah, and I was like that. But I've been vulnerable this week. I've been doing really good. I think it's like 16 people in my code in March, and I haven't done much this month. But everything I ran into was just kind of stumbling through my day. It was not intentional. And Darren always talks to me. Darren and Frank's my sponsor, always talk to me about being intentional. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I really understood it till this week. Because, I mean, I was a restaurant manager here in town. So I know what everybody drinks. I don't know their name. But, you know, I've been there. You know, I've been in comfort zone, and they do trust me. And it's really easy for me to go, and my husband knows everybody, but it's not so easy for me to choose work my list. And that is what this week has done for me, was teach me how to work my list and honestly not be, and like I said, it took me about 4 days to not be emotionally attached to the outcome.
Right.
Because I just did not know how to open the conversation. I've listened to you. I've listened to all these trainings, but I had not done it. When I did it, the first couple of them were really awkward, and they probably never going to speak to me again. But as I did it a few times, it got more natural, and it got, like you say, more visceral. It became more of my reality, even though I'd always said it was. It actually became more my reality. So I've been listening until I did it. So I've got everybody on my team paired up. Not everybody on my team. Everybody on my new team. I call them my nebula. There's like 20 new people, and that's where stars are born. That's a star nursery, right?
I like it.
So that's my nebula. I've got them all paired up with someone else. I've really plugged into this about talking to each other.
So when you're talking about pairing off, you're talking about setting people up with accountability partners?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And not necessarily people that they're close to, but just not know. Because I have a brand new, huge, I stepped away from the business for a long time. So I put quite a few people in last month, and, everybody's kind of fumbling around, and I am too. I'm not the best leader in the world. I am the best cheerleader probably in the world. But I needed to go through this week so I could tell them, just do it. Just do it. Just make the call. You may mess it up. You may do it wrong, whatever, but just know what your intention is and do it. And then you'll do it better next time. And then you'll do it better.
That's right. And if you've done the preparation on Sunday, where you put the invite together correctly, and it's written down, doing it's 50% more. It's 50% easier. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's much easier when it's written down, and you know what you're going to say, and you know you're not going to go off track. So I really appreciate your vulnerability to say what you're saying, and I'm getting a lot of people thumbs up listening to what you're saying, which is really good.
Well, you ain't going to get much more vulnerability from me. I was not very comfortable with this. Just running it. My husband says there's a couple of people in this house that runs everything, and I'm not one of them.
I love it.
My husband is an amazing, awesome man, but he does get out of my way when I get a little bit. When I get he's in the other room, he goes, "I heard you. Yeah, you're awesome."
All right, well, Cathy, let's move on here because we obviously want to make sure we get through. Now, let's quickly summarize. We don't have to go into any detail on the rest of the calls. Let's quickly summarize the calls you made and whether you're going to purge them or whether you're going to carry them over or whether they actually joined.
I've actually got 3 I'm going to purge. The one is the police officer and the stand-up. I've got another one that is he's a waiter. That he's just got this amazing personality, but I'm going to have to put him on, maybe a 3-month.
3-month purge?
Yeah, he's about my age, great personality, very engaging. I think he would be. I think he would be wonderful. I've got a business owner here in town. She's totally willing to send me every customer in the world. She honestly sent me a few.
And she already has, doesn't she? She already did.
Yeah, she already has if everybody's in contract. But I mean, they'll be customers eventually.
Mhm.
The other biggest thing I had was I have got 6 appointments in the next 2 days. Now I'm going to Power Trip. I was in Dave listening. I'm going to be at Power Trip, so I'm basically from Thursday evening to Saturday. That's going to be what's going to engage me. But I've got it very busy tomorrow. I had two pastors. I should have probably thought better about what weekend this was, and not tried to reach out to them this week. But I've got 2 pastors. Got one for breakfast and one for lunch tomorrow. I've got another the friend of my sister's. So, what exactly am I supposed to? I've got 6 appointments this week. I had 6 appointments. I didn't do much last week as far as putting the people I did meet up with either needed the money or something. So, I mean, but I was more intentional about the people I talked to. And I've got the people that are a little bit higher up on my chicken list that now I know how to talk to them. Now I know how to approach them. Instead of going, oh, no, I can't say this. I know exactly how to approach them now.
And that's exactly it. Because there's the 5 guidelines to each invite, doesn't matter whether they're 18 or 80, you just apply, what's relevant to them according to the 5 guidelines. So just to summarize what you're saying, you've got 6 appointments, which is awesome. You've
6 appointments in 3 days.
You could do it. You've got 3 people you're purging for 6 months, 1 person you're purging for 3 months. So that's the 10 people, right? So
yes, sir.
Okay, great. So 6 out of 10. All right. So here we go, guys. Listen to what happened here. We've got a girl on the call who is now. I just love her. She's got 2 men that love her now. She's got her husband and me, because.
And my son. 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. And you know what? I'm sure there's more than 3. I'm sure there's someone else out there that loves you too. But here's the point: is that because as Cathy was saying, there was she was doing well, but most of her business was being very reactive and reacting to certain circumstances, and that takes talent, and it takes the chat that Cathy has, which is fine when you're building your own business. But if you are hoping that that's going to duplicate, it's not going to duplicate. No. If you find someone who is as chatty as you, great. But you've got to make sure that you give them some structure as well. So if you're chatty and you can recruit people, that's fine. But let me tell you, that'll only get you to senior. It will not get you further than that, because you need to learn how to lead. Because when you're senior, you've got to build 5 other seniors. And the only way you're going to do that is by bringing all sorts of different people in your business. Some people, like executive consultant Paul Jenkins, he's not a chatterbox. He does it with real intention. And so what's so good about what you've done this week, Cathy, is you've taken your personality that is what it is, but you've added this structure to it. Take your 10 names, work out the perfect invites with your accountability partner, do your 2 calls a day, do your accountability call, be vulnerable on that accountability call, and then on this day, purge the ones who need to be purged, and plug in the ones that we need to work with, which is going to be the 6 appointments. And that's really good numbers. 6 out of 10, that's awesome. I wouldn't be surprised if you get yourself 1 or 2 consultants from those 6 appointments. That's awesome.
Right, yeah, I'm just getting 1 or 2?
I'm talking about...
I want you to get all 6 of them.
Man, that's what I like to hear. What am I doing?
Oh, you're wrong. If I could sit down with me.
Can we rewind 30 seconds, okay? We're going to rewind 30 seconds, and you're going to have those 6 appointments, and every one of them's going to sign up. How's that?
Well, I've got all my leaders. I've got all my leaders of my new team when I told about my nebula. And I just walked back in the house, and they're all still here, and they're all listening to the call tonight.
Well, and hi, guys. Can they hear us?
I guess so. I don't know. I walked in here, and I heard myself talking, so I guess they can.
All right. Well, and that's, I guess, the other lesson that we need to learn is what you're doing so well is you're learning the system for yourself, but you're also plugging your team into the same thing and making sure they plug into the same calls so that they'll do what you do, because you know the money is not on what you do, it's what your team duplicates. That's where the real money is. So that's fantastic they're doing that. So where are we now?
I only invited nice people that I knew were leaders. They already have it, and I didn't even realize. I've been sitting outside. I didn't realize they were listening to me. So. Fantastic.
I love it. Well, I got a question for you now, because we've kind of gone through what's happened for the week, and you've had a successful week, and we've seen the change from someone who is haphazardly building a business to someone who now has intentional structure, and that's a fantastic switch. And there's a question I want to ask you, but I'm going to make one point before I ask that question, and the point was about there's been a couple of times when this week you had I'm not going to say breakdowns because that's too strong a word, but you've had situations where it's got, you've been kind of taken out of the game for a day or 2 days. And for those of you who are listening, and I completely get that, but here's the point I want to make. That is the other reason why having a good, solid accountability partner is absolutely crucial to your business. Because if Cathy didn't, and there was a different personality, it could that one day or those 2 days could have turned into a week, and then turned into 2 weeks and a month, and all of a sudden, I can't make this business work. And all of a sudden, because of 2 days, the business has been stolen from her. So if you have, that's your job as an accountability partner, is to make sure, first of all, that you stick to the intentional structure and you do what you say you're going to do, but also to put an arm around your shoulder and to give you space. Like that Friday night, you didn't want to talk to me, that you didn't hurt my feelings. I missed you, of course. But my job is to make sure I'm there for you the next day with an arm around the shoulder and say, and you're saying, I feel better now. It was great. You said, I feel great now. But if you'd called me last night, I'd have ripped your head off or whatever, whatever it is.
Well, I'm glad you said it and I didn't.
But that's how it should be. I mean, those of you who are listening again, you can hear how Cathy and I are, and that's how an accountability call should be, is someone who's there to hold you accountable, but also to put an arm around your shoulder and say, and honest. But someone who's going to put an arm around your shoulder and say, it's okay. So we missed a day, that's fine. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. So that's what's so important. So now that being said, we've got 10 more minutes, Cathy, and I want to, what I want to do now, again, for those people who are listening in, I want you to really try to verbalize as best you can. You've kind of covered it a little bit, what the difference has been since you've been on the PURGE call and you've been introducing structure to your business. What has it, and I want to know your emotional states. Things like, more confidence, less scared, more intentional. Your feeling. How do you feel about the business because you have structure in your business now? So kind of expand a little bit on that, if you wouldn't mind, please.
All right. First of all, I want to say I really have the best upline in the world. But they sometimes let me off the hook. They let me off the hook. They know what's going on with my husband. They know what's going on with my health, and they know sometimes I'll go, if you don't call me, and I'll, they respect that.
Mm-hmm. So
I kind of need to be called in to check sometimes. Honestly, I laugh, and this is a kind of a sidetrack, but it took me 10 years to get my college degree, and my mom always thought that I would give up. She was a single mom, all this other stuff. And she's like, I always thought you'd give up. I said, well, I did. I gave up 100 times. But I kept going back. And that's, I think, what's really, you're going to have those days where you're just like, I'm done. You're going to have those days. They're going to happen. But then you don't necessarily fall down and get right back up. Sometimes you want to play with grass and look at stars and whatever. but you do get back up. You do get back up, and the big difference for me in my psychology, I think, was actually all the things that I've been listening to, actually applying them. I've been able to teach them, explain them, but I haven't actually applied them and really understood how it feels when I'm doing everything right and somebody says no. I just always thought that I was doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I'm doing everything like I'm supposed to, and they say no. Sometimes I'm doing everything wrong, and they say yes. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person.
Right.
So I think the biggest mind switch for me came on Thursday and calling Cheryl and just saying, hey, I love you to death. You've been in my life all this time. I don't know if this is for you or not, and I meant it. I meant it. It wasn't just something I said. I meant what I said. And that made all the difference in the world. So I guess that would maybe be the best advice I could give. If you don't feel it, just do it anyway. Do it anyway. Keep going until you feel it. And I always tell people, if you're having a bad day, just go out there and smile. Whether you feel it or not, go out there and smile. Smile until you feel it. And it's the same thing with the business. I mean, plug into the calls, plug into the training, go to your meetings, learn it. I mean, whether you're feeling it or not, do it until it becomes part of you. Until it becomes part of you, and you go speak to someone one day and you go, wait a minute, this is actually how I feel. This is actually really real to me. Does that make sense?
Completely. Totally. Because the thing is, that what you're saying there, Cathy, is, sometimes you wake up and you just feel like crap or everything's going wrong and blah, blah, blah. We all have those same feelings when we were at school. We also had those same feelings when we were in our job. But here's the difference. In your job, you've got to make sure you get that paycheck. So you're feeling like crap for a day. You take maybe you take a day off work, or you just do what you're going to do. But you've got to go back to work tomorrow, because otherwise that paycheck's not coming. And in school, if you don't, you're feeling, someone bullied you at school, or you've got an F on your exam or whatever, you feel like crap, and you're just like, oh God, if there wasn't the structure of school in place or the accountability of school in place, you would quit. So that's my point. In Ambit, you don't have that accountability. You don't have, that paycheck at the end of the month that will disappear if you quit, right? I mean, you're making money and this something, but it's not like a job. It's not like school. And so something in your Ambit business has to replace that level of accountability you had at school and that level of accountability you had in your job. Something has to replace it. Otherwise, on those crappy days, you'll quit. Now, in your case, Cathy, you are a fighter, and you keep going, and you keep going, and you keep going. But let me tell you, again, that's hard to duplicate. The replacement for the accountability you have in your job and you have at school is the right accountability partner and a structured week. You must have a structured week. Sure, we all go to the trainings and learn all about the Ambit system, but there's not enough training talking about your structure. And once you've got that in place and you have your accountability in place, then you just remember why you started your Ambit business. You started, yours is a hugely strong why. That's why you never quit, because you have such a strong why. But I've seen people with strong whys still quit. So
I'm pretty hard-headed too. But I have to win. I have to win if you haven't.
I get that. But you need to have, so there's three things you need to have. Be in touch with your why. You must have structure, and you must have accountability. If you don't, you've got a very, very high chance of you not continuing with your business. But anyway, I want to make sure that you have the last words on this, Cathy, because It's been a great week we've had together. And would you say that your level of confidence has increased and your, this type of thing? What would you say about that?
Exponentially. But I did want to share something that we talked about off of the call that really resonated with me. I think we were talking about my sister and mother-in-law and stuff like that. When you said, if you knew that someone needed more help and there was a job there, would you look at them and say, oh, I don't think they'd like this? You wouldn't make that decision for them. That was really a profound statement you made. I know you just made it, driving down the road and talking to me, but it really resonated with me. So if I know someone that needs to get out of where they are, and I've got, hey, there's a Walmart's doing a job hiring there, would I make that decision for them? That I don't think they'd like working there. They just need a job, right? I'm not going to make that decision for them. And you drove that home. I think we were talking about my family stuff, that you really drove that home, and that really helped me make that call on Thursday.
Right.
So I think he's going to turn into an amazing consultant. That you helped me make that call just by that one statement. So would you presume that someone does not want to do this just because you just prejudge them? Or would you give them a chance? And I talked to my whole team. I sent it out to all my text messages and my Facebook stuff and said, hey, would you ever presume to know what someone will or will not do? Why would you not give them the opportunity? You have a gift. You have a cure for poverty. You have a cure for hopelessness. You have got a cure for most of what hurts everyone. Why would you not just throw it out there as a gift? So you're not going out there and gathering consultants. You're not going out there and gathering customers. You're going out there and you're giving somebody a gift. You're either going to save them money or you're going to help them change their life. So walk out there like that. It's not some number you have to hit or anything like that. You just walk out there and know you've got some amazing gift that can change lives.
Mm-hmm.
Walk out there like that. That might change it up a little bit for you. So
I love it. All right. Well, we're at 8:57 right now. We don't have a national call to go to, but I did want to make sure that I said thank you for giving me all your time and energy and emotion.
Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for putting up with me.
It was tough, but someone had to do it.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you my husband's number. Y'all can text and whatever.
Yeah, we can sympathize with each other. But, hey, Cathy, thank you so much. And thank you, Scooter, for allowing me to have your wife for a week and work together. And we went through lots of ups and downs. For those of you who didn't get a chance to hear the accountability calls, some of them, they're a little long, but if you're driving into work, you can listen to them into work or on the way home from work. There are some really, really good training opportunities from real-life situations. That's why this training is so good. It's nothing to do necessarily with what I'm putting together. It's the fact that real life is being thrown at us and we're dealing with it. So make sure you get on those accountability calls and listen to those recordings. Again, I'm going to say thank you to you, Cathy, and again, thanks to Scooter for allowing me to have you for the week. I couldn't have done it with you. You did. It was literally, it was a marathon this week, no question. It was a lot this week, but that's fine and that's great, guys. I'm still looking for more. What should I say? I'm always looking for more victims.
Victims.
Thank you.
Debbie Adams. Debbie Adams is the one that turned me on to you. I would have never even listened to you or gone to a training.
I'm going to go get Debbie. All right.
Yeah, go get Debbie.
You just thrown Debbie under the bus, so I'm calling her. So,
I have thrown Debbie under the bus. She has quit her job, and she is doing this full time, and she's had everything in the world thrown at her. She's got the best personality you could ever imagine. But,
all righty.
She's having her time, and hey, she'll be up here on Wednesday, and we're going to be she's out in West Texas, but we're going to be at Tower Trip this week.
Okay, all right, we're at 8:59, so I'm going to have to say good night. But again, thank you so much, Cathy. I really enjoyed our week. Guys, those of you who are on the call, make sure you're prepared for next week. Don't just listen in and go, oh, that was a great call or whatever. Make sure you have your calendars open. Make sure you have your written list. Make the 10 names. Make sure you've got your invites put together for them. Put them in your calendar and have a structured week. If you don't, there's a risk your business will not grow. If you do, I promise you your business will grow. Period. Not a hope and a prayer, but an absolute guarantee. If you do the structure that's involved with the PURGE call, every week you'll find your 3, and she said to do the same thing. They'll find their 3, etc., etc., etc. Plug in, get yourself a system, and I promise you it will work. Guys, thank you so very much. It's top of the hour. I really appreciate everyone getting on the call. Guys, have a super week. Again, if you're interested in joining my list for being victimized, drop me a text, 214-766-4613. And I'll be happy to get in touch with you. And we're all good. Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to take it off mute. You can say goodnight to Cathy, and I'll see you guys all again soon. Get yourself some structure and have a great week, guys.
Awesome call, Cathy. Thanks for all your tips.